Alright, y'all, doing my predictions for UFC 170. Getting this a little bit earlier than usual, but got a lot of stuff coming up. It's maybe the only time in the week to actually get to it. So, main event, Ronda Rousey taking on Sarah McMann. Okay, this is a very interesting matchup. I think this is going to be far and away the most difficult bout that Rousey has had thus far as a professional fighter. When I look at Sarah McMann, she is a great wrestler, and I think she has excellent takedown defense. She's never been taken down, according to the fight metric. And of course, Rousey, well known, she's a great striker, but an even better submission specialist. So I think the storyline here is, how is Ronda Rousey going to go in there with her wrestling skills and take down someone whose takedown defense is just absolutely outstanding? And I think when you have that immovable object versus unstoppable force dynamic, it's usually the grounds for a really great, hyper-competitive fight, and I hope it's something outstanding. Last bout, Rousey, how she actually got taken out of the first round for the first time in her career. Ended up submitting Tate early in the third with the arm bar. So Sarah McMann, really great fighter, excellent wrestling, solid striking, but I still think that Rousey is the better overall striker. Yeah, I think McMann, she eats a little bit too many punches for my liking. So I'm going to give a solid striking advantage to the defending women's bantamweight championship. As far as grappling goes, like I said, it's a dynamic here. Rousey, she's averaging about 8 takedowns every 15 minutes. Sarah McMann's not doing bad herself. She's doing about 7 per minute, which is incredibly high. Takedown accuracy, actually McMann has a higher percentage than Rousey, by about 9 or 10%. But the key dynamics here, you got to look at this. This is really the story of the matchup. The takedown defense, Rousey 60% average, going up against McMann, who has a 100% takedown defense ratio. She's not been taken down yet, which is a huge thing to kind of consider going into this matchup, making a prediction. But I think an even bigger one here is, look at the submissions averages. McMann has about 0.48 submissions attempted every 15 minutes, compared to Ronda Rousey, who has an insanely, ridiculously, absurdly high 6 submission attempts per 15 minutes. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think this will be the first time that Ronda Rousey has ever been taken to the limit. This will go to a decision, and I think McMann will do a very good job of proving the takedown, but eventually she will tire out and get taken down. However, I think her submissions defense will prevent Rousey from sinking in the armbar. So it's going to be an incredible matchup in my eyes. I think this should be really a Fight of the Year nominee. One of the best fights in women's MMA history for sure, because it's just so competitive, and you have that dueling dynamic. That hook, can Rousey get her to submit? Can she hook the armbar? Can McMahon's defense hold up? Can she actually out wrestle Rousey? What's going to happen when McMahon takes down Rousey and puts her in a position that Rousey's put everybody else in? So I think this is going to be a fantastic fight. But I think it's going to end up being Rousey winning by a super controversial split decision. So hopefully it'll be a good enough matchup that we can go in there and do Rousey McMahon too. And this might actually become the big Ali Frazier for women's MMA that we've been looking for. So Rousey, I'll give her the advantage in this one, barely eking by McMahon in what I hope to be a Fight of the Year contender. All right, well, we were going to do Dan and Cormier against Rashad Evans. Rashad Evans a couple hours ago pulled out, so our new co-main event is Damian Maia versus Rory McDonald. Let's see what we got here. Interesting matchup. The reach advantage is going to Rory McDonald. Strikes landed per minute favors Rory McDonald. His striking defense is marginally better than Damian Maia. Striking accuracy favors McDonald. Strikes absorbed per minute actually favors Damian Maia, surprisingly. But really, it's a story of takedowns here. It's almost dead average. As far as grappling, they're both averaging about 3 takedowns every 15 minutes. The thing is, and this is probably the story of the matchup, is that McDonald's accuracy is 58% compared to Maui's 33%. Also, McDonald has a better takedown defense, shooting about 86% versus 69% for Maui. And even though Maui is putting up a higher submission average performance, I think this is going to be a game of the stand-up. I think Rory McDonald kind of keep Damian Maia on his feet and kind of prevent some of his takedowns going into it. I think he's pretty skilled against preventing submissions. I don't really see this being a great fight by any stretch. It's going to be a technical showcase, but probably not going to be very explosive. I think Rory McDonald ends up getting a unanimous decision in a real uneventful fight. All right, rest of the main card. We got Anthony Waldberger taking on Mike Pyle. Let's see what we got going on in this one. Striking looks pretty even. Defense mildly favors Mike Pyle. Anthony Waldberger actually has TJ Waldberger. Pardon me, that's what he's more popularly known by. Has a better strike to absorb minutes ratio. As far as striking accuracy, it's going towards TJ Waldberger. Looking at grappling, this fight is really leaning towards Waldberger. Has a more takedowns average per 15 minutes. Better takedown accuracy. Mike Pyle has a better takedown defense, but looking at submissions, it's ridiculous. Waldberger has almost 5 times as many average submission attempts per 15 minutes than his opponent. This is supposed to be a breakout fight between both guys, but I don't think it's going to be that entertaining. I think Waldberger ends up winning a unanimous decision and get another not all that eventful fight. Let's see what else we got. Stephen Thompson versus Robert Whitaker. Stephen Thompson, the guy from SC, got some flashy takedowns. Pardon me, not takedowns, it's flashy knockouts. He's got some cool kicks. I think he's looked at even with strikes landed per minute, though it does kind of favor Stephen Thompson as far as accuracy. Strikes absorbed per minute also kind of favors Stephen Thompson. He's better defensively. Defensively, kind of a moot point. Takedown accuracy, Robert Whitaker, 100%. That's ridiculous. He also has better takedown defense. Both guys really aren't submission specialists. I'm going to go with Whitaker here. I think he's going to end up winning this bout by TKO, second round. All right, and our fifth and final matchup on the main card, allegedly, Jessica versus Alexis Davis. Let's see what we got here. Pretty much dead even as far as strikes landed per minute. Better striking accuracy for Davis. Strikes absorbed per minute definitely favors Davis. Defense, Jessica I, mildly better. Jessica I does not really go for takedowns, so I think that's reason alone to give Alexis Davis the advantage here. I think she wins by second round stoppage, TKO. So there you go. This is a fight. Well, it's a card really that looked really interesting at one point, but now I think it's going to be kind of run of the mill, probably average to mediocre. But the main event could be something amazing. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. The rest of the show, we got Rafael Asuncao taking on Pedro Munez. I'm going to go with Asuncao because we really need some guys in the bantamweight division to step up. You got Aljamain Sterling taking on Cody Gibson. I'm going to go with Sterling. Zach Makovsky versus Josh Sampo in what is really a really interesting flyweight matchup between probably two of the best top 5 flyweight fighters in the world. I'm going to go with Sampo. Eric Koch taking on Rafael Oliveira. I'm going to go with Oliveira. And Curtin Jerker, Ernest Chavez versus Justinas Sedeno. I'm going to go with Chavez. So there you go. This main event better deliver because the rest of the card doesn't look that entertaining. See the cage? Maybe.